going to stand nice and tall. And we're just going to let one ear fall over to one shoulder. But as you do this, I sometimes tend to kind of yank up or pull up my shoulders to let them settle down. Feel that stretch on the opposite side of the neck and then come up nice and tall. So while you're here, nothing from the shoulders down is moving. We're just tipping, trying to get that neck stretch side to side. Good. Don't force it. Just the weight of the head. Shoulders are drawing down. Let's go one more time to the other side. And then come up nice and tall. I feel like I've been gone forever. Okay, keep your belly as tight as you can. Pull your ribs back. Let those shoulders drop down. We're going to round the upper back, pulling the shoulders forward, trying to keep your hips over your ankles, and then roll them back. Open the collarbones, but not the ribs. Curl up, round that upper back, almost like you're hollowing out the front of the chest. And back should feel good. 2, and 1. And come back to your neutral, and hopefully you feel like kind of a big range of motion here. So I'm going to have you guys stay standing in the form you are. We're going to bring the arms up, okay? And as you bring those arms up, I want you to drop the shoulders down, squeeze your butt, little bend in the knees as you round the upper back. So slight bend, let your head be heavy, pull the belly back. And then as you start to stack the spine up, straighten the legs. We'll go ahead. Inhale up. So this is your forearm. Bend into the knees, just kind of round the upper back, let the head fall. I want you to feel that stretch up the back side, and then rebuild, come up, we'll go 2 more like that. Inhale up, the arms, pull the shoulders down, bend slightly into the knees as you round and curl, belly is tight, stand up, straighten the legs, and here's your last one. We're going all the way down. So as you round the upper back, you're bending into the knees, pulling your belly back. As you start to roll down, come down to the floor, straighten the legs, and then maybe a little pull toward the thighs. You can use the hands behind the legs. And then right here, release the hands if you're stretching, a slight bend in the knees as you rebuild. So when I'm coming up, I'm pulling my belly back, but I'm trying to let my spine stretch. Inhale, arms up. Round forward. This should feel so good. Bending into the knee, pulling the belly back to support the spine. When you come down to the floor, straighten those legs. Draw yourself closer. I love this view. I'm looking straight through to the mirror behind me. Okay, from here, I want you to straighten and flatten out the back. So legs are straight, back is straight. We're going to take one big step with our left hand forward. Take another step with the right, and then match the hands up. Open the fingers. And get yourself into that kind of plank position. So here, your toes are curled under, your butt is tight, you can drop the hips lower, press away from the floor. Take your inhale, and as you exhale, with a long straight spine, long legs, we're going to push into the hands, lift the hips, let the head come between the arms. Now let the head fall. Starting with that tail, you're going to start to tuck the belly, tuck the tail, round through the spine back into that plank. And as the shoulders come over the wrist, lengthen. And one more time, pike, pike, pike. Big pyramid. Push the heels to the floor. Stretch the upper back. Pull the shoulders behind you. And rounding and tucking through to your plank. And you're going to pause right here. We're going to drop the knees down to the mat. Just a little tiny stretch. Not a lot of planking right now. So knees are going to open up. Seated back in your child's pose. We're going to walk our hands over to the right. And as you do that, I want you to pull that right hip toward the right shoulder. So you're opening up that left side. So big stretch, sideline stretch. And then come back to your center. Hopefully this is good. Walk the hands the other way. Pull the hip, left hip toward the left shoulder as you try to really reach through the right arm, opening up that right side. And come back to your center. And we are going to tuck those toes. We're going to straighten the legs. You're back into the plank. You're going to pike the hips up. And let's start with our right hand. So big step back with the right hand. Then big step back with the left. Match the hands. Roll. And you're in your standing. Okay, you should feel loose, right? Everyone's loose. Okay. So if you have the knee problems, you don't have to bend deep here. We're going to go into a little lunge. So as I stand up nice and tall, my feet are open, hip distance and parallel, toes forward. I'm going to take my left foot, step it forward, keep my back leg straight, okay? So then I'm going to take my hands to my hips, and I want you to tuck the pelvis just a tiny bit under. Back leg will stay straight, heel lifted. We're going to lift the front heel and press it down. So while you're here, think you're centered between the legs. Your belly is tight, and I want you to feel low back. So no arching in the low back. Lift and lower. Lift, lower. One more time. Hold it up right here. Here's your balance challenge, by the way. I snuck that in. Bend down into both knees and stretch that back leg long. Bend down, back knee bends, belly is tight, stretch long. Inhale, bend. Exhale, stretch. We're warming up the quads. Belly, belly tight, trying to stay straight up, shoulders over hips. Last one. And press up to that straight back leg. We're going to pivot to a second position. Drop the heels, knees are bent. So you're in kind of this, what is it, a warrior position, maybe a little bit, I don't know. And then we're going to sink down a little deeper, but if the knees feel it, don't go deep. We're going to lift both heels up. Press down. So as you're lifting, keep the upper body still. So just those heels are lifting up, heels are pressing. Let's inhale up, push on that exhale. 3, 2, 1. Hold those heels up. Let's pulse it down. Little pulse, hands on the hips. 4, 3, 2, 1. Guess what happens? We're straightening the legs. We're going to pivot to the other way. So legs are open. We're going to pivot opposite. And if you need to adjust, adjust. Back leg stays straight. Heel is lifted. Forward knee bent. We're going to sink into that nice little kind of lunge squat. Press up that back leg. Inhale, back, knee bend. Press up straight. Inhale, sink it down. Belly is tight. Exhale, push. Inhale. Exhale. Here we go. We're going to hold it down. Hold it down. We're going to lift that front leg or heel and push it down. Lift. I know that would have been hard. Inhale up. Exhale down. Let's go for 4. Oh, I'm wobbly. 2. Trying to stay straight. Ankle over toes. And here's your last one. Hold it up. Hold it down. And I won't count because there's locks. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Heels down, pivot around front. Stay with the feet open into that second position. Arms are going to come up. Shoulders are down. Forward fold, flat back. And then down, round, hands to the ground. And rebuild the spine. Nice and slow. Pull the belly back. And we are going to pivot around back to that standing, squared off, feet under, ankles, hips, shoulders. So we're going to bring the hands out, or actually long beside you. Palms are facing back. You're pulling your belly in. We're going to take a big step with our right foot. Arms are going to come up. Okay, we'll do this 5 times. Press off, come back to that standing, push the arms back. Inhale. Now press arms back, pull shoulders back. 3. And 2. Bend in the knees up to you. And hold it here. Okay, hinge forward, pull the shoulders back. We're going to open to a T with the arms. Back knee is bent. You're going to press the arms, pulling the shoulders back behind you and close them up. And inhale, pull them back. Exhale, press down, palms to the floor. Inhale, open. Exhale, press. Belly is tight, spine is long, ribs are pulling back. Here's your last one. Open and pause. Bending at the elbow, palms are down. You're going to stretch the arms out and pull them to the side. And inhale, elbows pull. And 4, belly is tight. 3, shoulders are pulling back. Last one. Press the hands down as you push yourself up to a standing. We're switching sides. Okay, quads should be feeling a little here. All right, so arms long, palms back. Stepping the left, arms come up, biceps along the ears. Press back to standing 4 more. Inhale. Exhale the whole time, keeping that Pilates connection. So belly tight. I know, balance is hard. And 2. And 1, hold it here, open those arms to a T, hinge forward, flat back. Pull the palms or the top of the hands back together and close. And inhale, pull. And squeeze, close. And 4. Here's 3. Pull those shoulder blades together. Do not let the shoulders come up to the ears. 2. And 1. You're going to hold those arms out to that T, bend at the elbow. Stretch them forward, palms are down. Hold the elbows alongside. You're pinching the shoulders together behind you. 3. Should be warm. 2. And last one. Press yourself back up and shake up. Good job. Quad work. Okay, so we're coming down to a quadruped position. We are not going to stay on our knees, I promise. All right, so I want your knees right under your hips. Okay, so knee lined up with the hip. From the tailbone up, get yourself into that kind of plank position. Toes are tucked under. Arms, wrists under the shoulder blades. Take your inhale. And you're just going to lift the knees and hold. We're warming up the belly now. Tight, tight belly, flat, flat back. Pushing away from the floor. Drop the knees down. Just sit back to that child's pose. Let the spine relax. Shift back into that kneeling position. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, hold it. So if you want to stay kind of thinking light in the wrist, light in the hands, turn on the belly, hovering and holding, long, long neck. Drop the knees down, sit back to that child's pose. And we're coming back up to that hover. Toes are tucked under, push away from the floor, lift the knees, pull the belly tight. Shoulders are pulling down the back. Straighten the legs, push the heels to the floor, sink ears between biceps, get that stretch, lift up the heels, bend the knees into that hover. So find that perfect quadruped position. You need to adjust. Belly is tight. Press yourself away from the floor, straighten the legs, push the heels down, and sink back into that big pyramid position. Lift those heels up, bend into those knees, and hold it here. So I'm going to internally rotate a tiny bit with my fingers. So I'm just kind of pivoting on my palm of my hand. Staying in your hover, we're going to inhale, bend the elbows, not big. Exhale, press away. Keeping that plank form. If you want to take that kind of modification, you drop the knees and lift the feet. Inhale down. 3. Upper back working here, triceps. Got 1 more. Set those knees down. Sit back to the child's pose. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Oh. I know, right? You should feel like almost cardio here. Yes. Okay, so we're going to stay down, but I'm going to shift now to my back side. So I'm seated. My toes are forward. Heels in line with those sitting bones. I'm going to sit up nice and tall. And I'm going to roll myself down. So use your hands if you need to. Come to the elbows if you need to. Otherwise, curl. Belly pulls back. And roll it all the way down. And adjust. All right, here we go. So my hands are long beside me. Okay, I'm going to start with my knees and tabletop. If you want to open up the arms a little wider than the mat, do that. Keeping a neutral pelvis, belly tight. I've got that little kind of lift in that lowest part of my back or an imprint. I'm gonna take my right leg, extend it with a flex. I'm pushing through my heel and I'm pointing as I bend it back in left side. Flex and press through the heel, pull it back to tabletop, flex opposite, so we're alternating. Flex, push away with the heel, pull it back to tabletop, keeping the ribs heavy, head is down, flex, press. The lower that leg goes, the more strain possibly on your back. So if the legs need to extend high, do that. Flex, press it away, lengthen that leg. You really want to get that reach through the heel. We'll go one more each side. Push, pull, press it out, and pull. I'm going to take my hands, sweep them, and support my head. Palms are going to lift kind of gently. Head is cradled in the hands. We're going to do the same thing with our chest lifted. We'll go for 10. So it's a flex, press, bend, pull. Flex, push, bend, pull. Every time you flex and press away, I want you to feel the belly have to tighten even more because we're keeping our hips still and trying to support the low back by pulling the belly in. And 5. And 6. Press it away. And here's 7. Flex and point. Flex, point. Flex. We got 2 more sets. Push it out, point it back. Flex, press, point. 1 more. Flex. Press. Roll it down, find the floor with the feet. Take a quick break. We're going to go double legs. So hands are going to come along beside you again. Shoulders open. So we're going to alternate chest lift with chest down. Okay, so we'll give our neck a little break. Back to tabletop. Same work, only both legs. Okay, so we'll build up. It'll get harder. You know how it works. Press the heels. Slide those legs long with a flex. Point, pull them back tabletop. Flex, press away. So the lower the legs are, the more work it will be. And you could try maybe alternating high with low. Not get into that low back. Press it out. Pull in. Press and extend. Flatten the belly board. Pull back in. 3, 2, and 1. Come back to tabletop, sweep the arms out, support your head with the palms. Lift chin to chest, looking down to the belly. Flex as you extend, point, pull it back. So that little pause at the extend here, and pull it back. Pause. Turn the belly on. I do not want you to feel the legs working or the hip flexor. Exhale, press. Inhale, pull in. Go for 5. Keep that belly tight. Ribs are pulling down. You can look down to the belly or the legs that are extending. Here's 3. And 2. And 1. Back to tabletop. Roll yourself down. Place one foot down. Arms are coming long beside you. We're going to bring our knees to a tabletop. We are going to extend our right leg long up to the ceiling, extend the left to a hover over the floor. Nice and slow on an exhale, we're going to scissor up and switch. And belly is super tight. Tailbone is connected to the floor. So as the leg lifts, do not let the hips shift at all. Remember, legs are light, belly is turned on. Feel like just you have no legs at all. They're floating. And 3. And 2. And 1. Bring the knees tabletop, sweep the hands underneath the head. Good morning, Rhonda. You're fine, don't worry. Extend the left leg long to the ceiling, cover the right over the floor. Pull your belly tight. Pull the ribs together and scissor. So let's exhale as the leg lowers. Inhale as they switch. Oh, yes. Now we're feeling a little belly, right? 5, 4, reaching those legs long. 2, and 1. Bring those legs to tabletop, roll it down, find your feet on the floor. Hands come along beside you. Oh, it gets harder. All right, so knees tabletop, it's an advancement. So legs are in tabletop. We're going to extend the legs, hovering lower over the floor or high. And from here, I just want you to make a little, well, maybe not so little, half of what you would do with your big circle. 5, 4, 3. Keep that belly tight too, no low back. Lift the legs if you feel it. And bring the legs tabletop. Keep the hands underneath the head. Lift chin to chest. Extend the legs. Do you remember the direction you went? Let's go opposite for 10 and 9. Keeping the spine still. 7 and 6. 5 more. Check in with that belly. Pull it tight. 4 and 3, 2, and 1. And those knees, roll it down. Find the floor with the feet. Open up the arms wider than the mat. Bring the knees together, feet together. Pull the heels in closer to the bum. And drop the knees. Whoa, crack, crack.
Yeah.
All right, so your arms, shoulders relaxed, shoulders connected to the floor. You're looking to the ceiling. You're letting those knees settle. And you're going to tighten the belly out, tighten that oblique, draw the knees back to center on an exhale, and switch sides. Exhale, draw those knees back. We're going to add that head turn. So dropping the knees to the starting side, right side for me. We're going to turn our head away from the knees. And then we're going to reach. So I'm over on my left with my head turned to the left. I'm going to bring that left arm up. Reach through the fingers to open up that sideways even longer. So create length on that side. Hand comes back alongside you. Knees come back to center. Let's go the other way. Dip the knees opposite. Let the knees settle. And relax. Turn your head away from the knees. Reach that same arm up and reach through those fingers. Trying to let go, opening up every rib. You want space between every rib. And then nice and slow, pull the belly tight. And we're going to bring those knees to the tabletop. We're going to sweep the hands behind the head. And we're going to start warming up our obliques. Okay? So we're going to extend the right leg long, hover. We're going to rotate toward the left, looking down to the floor on the left side. We're going to come center tabletop and extend and go opposite. So I just have that little wobble in my pelvis. You want to keep it still. So as I extend my left leg, I'm pulling that left side down and trying to cinch opposite waist. And extend. And we're going to go one more to each side. And I want you to land with your left knee pulling toward the right shoulder. I'm going to take my right hand to my left knee. I'm supporting with my left. I'm going to press into that knee with my arm. Pull my belly tight. My hand is supporting my head. I'm looking to the floor. And I'm going to switch tabletop. Right knee in, left shoulder to right knee. Take my left hand up. Press it into my right knee. Pulling my belly as tight as I can. I'm going to come back through center, go the other way one more time. Press in to that left leg with the right hand. Keep the pelvis still as you lift the right leg up and lower it down. Pressing in to that left knee as we lift and lower one more time. And back to center, support the head. Rotate the opposite way. Kind of forearm comes to that knee. We're going to lift that left leg long, drop it down, really push into that tabletop leg. Trying to keep your pelvis as still as you can. It's so hard. 3 and 2 and 1. Tabletop, roll it down, feet to the floor, arms come long. We're going to do some bridging real quick to undo whatever we just tensed up. So we'll start with just that simple little imprint of the spine. So my hands are going to come long, my shoulders are open. My hands are a little wider than my mat. I'm relaxing my upper body, head. And all I want you to do is find that place for the feet where they're lined up with the sitting bones. And we're just going to pull the navel down to the floor. And now we're connected belly to pelvis. So the pelvis is taking back, tailbone goes up. But don't bridge up yet. And release. I know what everyone does. It's like instantly as you tip the tailbone, you think, oh, time to bridge. I just want you to imprint and open up that low back. So we'll go 3 more. So it's just that belly that's causing the pelvis to tip. We got 2. And last 1. Relax, neutral spine. We're going up. So you're going to tip the pelvis back by pulling the belly, imprinting the spine, 1 bone at a time. Coming up. So remember, shoulders are relaxed. So as you come up into your bridge, you're really squeezing the glutes to keep the pelvis high. You're pulling the belly almost like you're pulling it away from the hips. And then you're going to roll down. So as you're rolling down, I want you to really reach through those knees, almost pulling the heels back. And then relax. We'll go 3 more like that. So imprint first, let the tailbone tip, roll up through every bone in the spine. Reach the knees. So you may end up shifting and the shoulders might come more up to the ears. I don't care. Roll it down. Just keep reaching through the knees. And we'll go 2 more just a little faster. Exhale. Peel it up 1 bone at a time. As you roll down, I want you to keep the glutes squeezing. Belly is tight. Front of the chest is nice and healthy. The last one. Roll it up. Hold it up high. Let's bring those arms up to the ceiling. Keep the shoulders down. Now reach those arms overhead. So I want you to feel like the fingertips are reaching opposite of the toes, keeping that length in the front side of the body. We're going to roll it. And arms come up to the ceiling. That may have felt like a really good one. We'll do it again. Roll it up. As soon as you add those arms in, you create more length in the spine. So squeezing the glutes, arms come up overhead. Reach through those fingers. Soften the chest, but pull the belly tight as you roll. And hands come back alongside you. We're going to roll it up nice and slow. Pause at your top. I want you to stabilize with the weight into the right heel, right toes, more weight in the heel. We're going to lift that left knee to tabletop. We'll extend it to the ceiling. We're going to lower it down and lift it up, keeping the pelvis high and still. Belly is tight. 2 and 1. Lift it up high, back to tabletop, step the foot down. Shift weight over to the left without compromising the pelvis. Bring the right leg up to tabletop. Extend it long. Lower it down. As that leg lowers, do not let that hip tip. Keep your belly tight. Push down into that other foot. And 2 and 1. Lift it up, back to tabletop. Place it on the floor and roll yourself. Okay. All right. Open up the feet. Flex the ankles. So my feet are almost to the edge of my mat. I'm going to let my knees, make sure we're lined up, knees over toes. Toes are lifted. Press straight up, so no bridge here. So I want you to really squeeze. So you're pulling the glutes into the center line. Your belly is tight, shoulders relaxed. We're going to relax the glutes, keeping the heels pressing to the floor, halfway down with the pelvis. Press it up. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. Keeping your center. Trying not to let yourself wobble. Let's go for 3 and 2 and 1. Lift. From here, I want you to open the knees. So you're pivoting on the heels. Toes are going wide. And then bring them back to your start. Exhale, pull them. Inhale to the start. Exhale. Squeeze open. Knees closed. 3 and 2 and 1. Bring them back to the start. Roll it down. Let's extend our left leg, pull our right knee into our chest and really reach through that left leg. Pulling that right knee in almost to the right side of the rib. And then we're going to take that right leg long, extend it up, pull it toward the body, flex at the ankle, and we'll walk ourselves up. So as you start to walk the hands up, I want you to tuck the chin to the chest as you lift. And then maybe walk up a little farther. Do not lift your chin. You can gaze up with the eyes, but not with the chin. Draw it in. Bring it to a tabletop before you roll it down. Place that foot on the floor. Extend it long. Pulling in the left. So as you're pulling that left knee in, you're keeping it in line with the hip. I want you to feel the opening in that opposite hip. So you can push, kind of pushing down into the extended leg heel. Push down as you pull that knee in. Feel the hip flexors, maybe release a little bit. Straighten that leg up. And as you start to walk the hands up, tuck the chin, lift the chest. Draw that leg in a little closer, round the spine, pull the belly down. Walk it down. Place that foot on the floor. And we're going to come onto a sideline position, okay? We're going to drop our knees over to the right. And I'm going to press myself up into the side hip position. I'm going to support my head with my bottom hand, okay? And then from here, hand can go to the hip or the floor, start on the floor, and then go from there. We'll extend our legs long and bring them almost forward so that the toes are to the forward part of your mat. So you're almost in a kind of little angle at that hip line. We are going to hover both legs, and we're going to keep them hovering right here. So as you lift those legs, try not to let the ribs settle or push into the floor. So you want to stay light in that bottom waistline. And all we're going to do here is lift the top leg up with a flex, lower it down. So for some people that are thinking they should go high, keeping that lift coming from that side glute and staying parallel, it would be a smaller lift. And if you feel like the toes are going to the ceiling, you kind of internally rotate maybe toward the floor. And here comes a nice challenge. Okay, ready? Both legs glued together, lift, and don't lower to the floor. Just lift using that sideways, keeping the belly tight. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. We'll go for 4 and 3 and 2. Neck is long and 1. Stay hovering. Top leg. Reach it forward, staying balanced on your hips. Press it back behind you. Keeping those hips stacked without shifting forward or back. You may, right when I said that, you may need to pull the belly tighter and squeeze those glutes really tight so that the hips stay still. For 2. So hard. And 1. We're going to keep that top leg hovering, line it up with that bottom, point both toes. Squeeze the legs together, lift with a point, tap to the floor. Lift with a point, tap to the floor. We'll go for 2. And last one. Hold the legs high, top leg with a point, nice tiny circles. Bottom leg should be feeling something at this point. 2, 1, and reverse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close up the legs, lower them down, lower your body down. Oh. All right, I'm going to flip around. So I'm just going to take my head to the other end of the mat. Hopefully you guys are okay over there. Extending the legs, toes to more of the forward part of your mat. Your hips are more back. We're supporting with our elbow. You can also come down to the mat if this is okay. So I've got my feet flexed. I'm using my top arm into the floor. Use it for support if you need to. Lifting lightly up from that bottom rib. I'm going to lift those legs up with a flex, okay? So from here, remember, toes are forward. Lift that top leg, lower. Belly, keep it tight. Hips are still. So here's where you're trying to find that connection to keep the pelvis nice and still before we start to really kind of move a little more. Belly tight, waistline light. 3, lifting with that side kind of thigh, side glute, and last one. Close the legs, you've got to flex. We're lifting up and lowering, but not tapping. Lift, lower. This is small. It could be big for some people, not for me. Okay. And waistline is lifting. 2, 1, hold those legs up for our top leg forward, pull it back. So as I go forward, I'm using that top oblique to stabilize. As I press back, I squeeze my glute forward, just so my hips don't tip back. Point, 2, and 1. Line up the feet, point the toes, feet are together, toes are together. We're gonna lift them up, lower but not tap, lift, lower, lift, trying not to roll back. 3, bottom leg, oh boy. Feeling it. 2 and 1, hold them high, top leg circles, little tiny circles. And 3, waistline is tight and lifted, top is working. And reverse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower those legs down. Yes. Okay, come on up to a mermaid seated position. We'll stretch. All right, I'm gonna go back to that starting leg will be my knee that's kind of out to the side and behind me. And this position is just comfortable for you. So it doesn't have to be a deep knee bend. I'm going to take the knee that's forward, my right knee, I'm going to take that hand to the floor and extend that arm long. So I'm going to take my other arm out to a T and I'm going to rotate my palm up. Sit up nice and tall, square shoulders over the hips. Reach up, long, long neck, lengthen that outer waistline. Push that top hip down as you bend into that bottom arm and press yourself up and switch. So T arms, rotate that palm up. It's going up and over and just feel kind of weighted in the upper body and come on up long. We'll go one more time. Inhale up, over. That hip is trying to press down, top hip, press it away. And come on up and one more time to the other side. Try to relax that outer waistline, that side line, okay? And we'll flip our cross. So again, you make this as big as you want, trying to keep the length in the spine, which will create a bigger stretch. So my left knee is forward, my left hand on the mat, my right arm out to a T, palm rotated up, I'm seated tall. Inhale up and over, keeping length in the spine, length in the neck. As I reach up and over, I'm gonna push my top hip away. And I'm going to come up. Rotating opposite palm up. You can even look up and under that arm. And come on in. And one more time the other way. Reach up and over, pushing that hip away. One more. And come on in. And we are going to come back into a quadruped position. So we'll be on our knees more this time. So if you want to roll up that mat under the knees or get yourself a towel or a pad. So I'm going to start quadruped. I'm going to extend my left leg behind me. And then I want to extend my right arm. Fingertips will stay on the mat for now. So back leg, I want you to cross body stable here. So belly tight. You'll feel press off from that left arm. Push it away from the floor, the chest. Hold the belly tight. We're going to lift the arm and the leg at the same time. So lift, keeping the spine still, and tap both down. And lift, and tap. Belly is tight. Lift, tap. Belly tight. Don't swing that back leg. Hold it up and lower it down. Take that little pause. Shoulders are pulling down. Use your upper back to lift that arm. Use the glute to lift the leg. Hold it up here. You're going to pull both up. Make it slow. It's a little lift. Right arm, leg, left leg. 3, 2, 1. Hold it high. Now, I'm going to pull my left knee in as I round and curl, pulling my elbow toward my right thigh with a big curl. Now I'm going to extend it and flatten and reach and lengthen. And curl and tuck. Pull your belly in and reach it up. And 2. Reach and 1. reach, set that hand down, foot down, bring that knee in, bring the other one. So you should feel arm work, shoulder work. This is arm and shoulder, okay? So left arm extends, right leg extends. Stabilize, find your connection, little bend in that elbow that's supporting you. And we're gonna lift up, arm and leg, tap it down. So remember, as you're lifting, you're not swinging, you're not arching, and the hips aren't moving. We're lifting that leg, it's heavy. We're lifting with the glute and the hamstring. 4, squeeze it up. And 3. And 2, remember keeping yourself pressing from the floor. Hold it up. Pulse for 8. 3, 2, 1. Elbow pulls in toward that left thigh. Knee pulls toward the right elbow. And reach away. And tuck and pull the belly tight. And reach. We'll go for 3. Remember that curl in the spine is the belly pulling up to the spine. 2. And 1. Stretch it out. Set the hand down. Set the foot down. Sit back to the chest. Reach the arms long. Try to let your spine loosen up, relax. And breathe. We're going to roll ourselves up. We're going to stretch cat-cow. Think cat-cow. So when we do our cat part, we're going to do that hip shift where we get that big stretch in our spine. So we're going to start with that tuck, rounding, and I want you to push from the floor. Pull the pubic bone toward the forehead. Really push, and then flatten the spine. Lift the chin. Lift the tailbone. Remember the shoulders. Last part. Pull them down. And curl. And lift chin. And curl. Stay in your big curl. I want you to really tuck, pushing into the floor, pulling the belly up to the spine. You're rounded. You're going to shift your hips back toward the heels, keeping the belly tight. Shift forward. Stay in your big curl, even rounding upper back as you push and come back. One more time, okay? Curling, pulling the belly up. And come back into that starting point. And we're going to do some more. One more thing, okay? Well, a couple more things. All right, so I want to have you guys do some roll down first. Okay, so I'm going to extend my legs long. Let's see if I can do it. I think everything's fixed here. So we'll see. This is the test. So you want to feel your sitting bones right underneath you. You want to feel like your spine is up against the wall. And you're going to take that inhale, and first I want you to just collapse the center of the body, pulling the belly back. So you should feel that big rounding and that curl. Now I want you to reach the fingers toward the toes, let the shoulders come up to the ears, and then pull the shoulders back, pinching them together as you start to roll, keeping those shoulders back, chin tucked, and come all the way down, nice and slow. Arms come up overhead, reaching through those fingers. Bring the hands to the ceiling. Tuck that chin, look to the toes as you start to lift the chest and pull that belly back as far back as you can. Reach and round the upper back. So now my shoulders are right over my hips, and I'm really curled and tucked, and my shoulders are coming up to the ears as I pull my belly back. Staying in that curled position, slide the shoulders back. Start to roll. Yes. And arms overhead. If you need the support of the elbows underneath you as you start to come up, do it. My shoulders are down. I'm going to start to lift my chin. Like the crown of my head is attached to my fingertips. I'm rolling up. Curl, curl, curl. Stay with those shoulders over the hips. Pull the belly back as you reach those hands. And sit up nice and tall, bend those knees. A little oblique thing. Okay. Sit up tall, and we're going to finish with another bridge series. So curl, just to undo, hold it here. From here, I want you to extend both arms long, okay? So my feet are going to stay connected. So if your feet start to lift, come up a little higher. Pull the shoulders back. My right arm is going to reach to the side. And I'm gonna look back as my shoulders kind of twist and rotate. Belly is tight, come back to center. Other side, reach. My shoulders are pulling open. I'm not collapsing or rounding in the front of my body or my chest. I'm trying to get that big stretch as I alternate, reaching one hand behind me, looking back. And we're gonna hold it back. Right arm, hold it back. Reach through those fingers, tuck the belly, pull it in, pulse it up. Pulse, pulse. Using that side waist. 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. You're going the other way. Reach. So as you reach, I want fingertips pulling apart. You're going to pulse it up, keeping the hips as still as you can. 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on. Hold the knees. That should be really a lot. Maybe. If you were connected, if you're pulling the ribs back and you're really lifting from that heart center. Okay, I'm talking curl. Oh, this is fun. I never do this. Typical Pilates traditional move. So my hands are behind my knees, right? This is always fun because my spine is crooked, so I roll crooked. Okay, hands behind the knees. You're in that big tuck. Pull your belly in. All we're going to do is roll like a ball. You're going to roll back. And you're going to roll up. And you're going to roll back, massaging your spine and up. And as I start to go diagonal on my mat, stay in that curl. Roll back, come up, feet do not touch. Sit up tall. Balance. Okay, we're going to hinge back. Knees are up, right? Feet are up. We're going to extend the arms forward. We'll extend those legs long. Teaser, flat back. Look at you guys pulling it up. Back to tabletop. Pull the knees in, round the spine, come up again, right here. Feet hovering, extend the arms, flatten the spine, hinge back. How much fun is that? Feels good, right? Extend, arms up, lower down. Okay. Bring those knees into a bent position, bent knees to be on the floor. Let's do one more little twist. So cross your ankle over one knee, okay? Press open that knee with the one hand that's closest to that knee. And we're going to drop the knees away. So my right knee is up. I'm going to drop my legs to the left. If my foot comes to the floor, yeah, it did. Sometimes it doesn't. Just let the knees kind of feel heavy over to that side. And then I'm going to open my arms, let my shoulders relax. Okay. They're like a big pretzel. You're going to pull your belly tight as you draw the knees back to center, and we'll uncross that leg and do the other side. The left ankle over right knee. I'm going to just gently open my left knee. I'm going to start to let the feet or the knees fall. Top foot may come to the floor, maybe not. Just feel the weight of the legs and rotating and causing that little twist. And I'm going to tighten up my belly. Pull my knees back to center. I'm going to place my feet on the floor. We got one more thing to do. So I want to have you guys pull the heels as close to the butt as you can. Okay, your feet are on the floor. I'm going to zip up everything. So knees, feet, inner thighs connected. Hands are coming long. I'm going to press myself up. So you're going to feel really a lot different here. So if you feel that low back, come down a little lower with the hips. Otherwise, I want you to squeeze the butt tight. I want you to reach the knees over the toes, pull the belly in, open the shoulders. We're going to lift our right heel up, lift the left heel up. Okay, so I'm trying to keep my knees together. I'm going to lower my right heel, left heel. Lift left up, right down, left down, right up, left up. I know. Just go with whatever works for you. One heel at a time. Squeeze the butt. And both heels up, pause here. I want you to go into a prance. So one heel lowers and then you shift. So the whole time I'm trying to keep my hips parallel with the ceiling. I'm squeezing my glutes. I'm going to go for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lift up both heels. Let's lower hips halfway. Heels are lifted. And squeeze it up. And lower. And squeeze. And lower. Strong hamstrings and butt. And 3. Shoulders open. 2. And 1. Lower those heels, lower the pelvis, pull the knees in. Let yourself fall. Side. Half time. Oh shoot, I don't. Oh, you guys don't get my last bridging finale. Sounds like forget it. I don't want to do it. Okay. All right, so we're gonna extend those legs long. Get yourself ready to roll up. So nice long legs. All the way down. Arms up. Remember, as those fingertips start to lower, think of that string attached to the crown of the head as the arms start to lower. Pull the belly back. Now we're going to reach for the toes. Grab them if you can. Release that spine as you forward fold over your legs. Let your head be heavy. If you're flexible, you want to pull your toes to the shins. That's good. And relax here. Keep that belly tight as we rebuild the spine. Sit up nice and tall. I'm going to have you bend your knees. Okay, we're going to just rotate, stretch. Okay, I'm going to have my arms forward. Leave the left arm forward as you reach the right arm back. Place that right arm on the floor. Bring that left arm over to the outside of that right leg. Use it if you want to rotate. Pull your shoulders down, sit up tall. Now, from this rotated position, pull your belly tight. Try to bring those arms up to that T. Rotate back to center. Rotating the other way, seated tall. Hand comes to the floor, other to the outside. Use that arm to push yourself around. If that's okay, shoulders are down, neck is long. Keep the belly tight. Bring those arms up. Come back to center. You are done. Finished. Yay. Happy Monday.
Thank you.
Good. Hopefully.